very honored and very moved. We're going to be talking about, there's a lot of technologies out there, and this is a very new technology that you will probably, if you subscribe to Science Magazine, you're going to start seeing more and more of signaling pathways and signaling, cell signaling, and signaling in general, what it means and how it can affect aging and illness. And this is primarily focusing on lipolysis, anti-aging as always, and how that can be achieved through a technology that is anti-inflammatory. So low-grade inflammation, it underlies a unified field for aging and disease. And the changes in inflammatory status of adipose tissue in the liver, obesity, show that the obesity, it reflects a low-grade inflammation. So basically, here you have a condition that is underlined by inflammation. And the last thing you want to do is utilize methods that will increase inflammation. Now, inflammation has been associated to a number of disorders. It's been associated to heart disease, to diabetes, to metabolic syndrome, to obesity. Inflammation has also been implicated in cancer. People have seen cancer as a wound that never heals. Now, we have a lot of lasers, a lot of laser procedures that do lipolysis. And there are two problems with it. One of it is the inflammation that we're going to be touching in a minute. The second one is that when the laser causes the lipolysis, all the fat lipids and the toxins, but also the fatty acids will get into the blood, and they can clog the arteries. So that you can have a problem as a result with it. A signaling technology that signals to the brain to release hormones and cause the lipolysis by the hormones has the advantage of doing it in a stepwise fashion, because the body is doing it, you see? So there's a huge difference here between something that is done from the outside without the awareness of the body, without the control of the body, that cannot really safeguard against it, and something that can happen as a result of the body speeding up, like a speeded up gym that you do in a sort of supernatural way, or like a super person kind of thing. And you exercise really fast, and the lipolysis is caused, but it's caused by the body, and it's done stepwise. So it basically only releases as much energy from the fat as it needs. Now, there's a lot of studies that have shown that actually lasers and radio frequency increase inflammation. And these studies are using specific markers of inflammation. The most interesting, well, the most popular is the C-reactive protein. The most interesting, actually, is the NOD-like proteins, and NOD1, NOD2, and NABL3. This is, when you see these proteins being present, you know that inflammation is there. They're very reliable. It's a very reliable marker. There's also a pro-inflammatory marker, the interleukin-6, and there is other markers as well. This is the most kind of common ones. And the researchers reporting increased inflammation after laser treatment are listed here. If any of you is interested in the research, I can get the research and email it to you. I did not want to go through all of these extensive research studies. There is research that has found increased inflammation after radiofrequency, and this is, again, a long list of doctors and researchers that have found inflammation after radiofrequency. And we're talking about severe inflammation in controlled studies by looking at certain inflammatory markers. In conclusion, we cannot combat disorders that are caused by inflammation or they're underlined by inflammation, such as obesity. And what else is underlined by inflammation? Aging. So how can you combat disorders such as aging and obesity by using the same thing that is underlying, increasing inflammation, which is what underlies the disorder in the first place? It wouldn't make any sense. What we need is the exact opposite. We need technologies that decrease inflammation, if anything, in order to be able to deal and basically work with the obesity factor. Now, can we get the same results that we get with lasers and radio frequency by using a different technology that is anti-inflammatory? And the answer is, according to research studies, is yes. We have seen increase of fibroblast secretion of collagen without trauma by utilizing signals delivered in specific frequency combinations. Several studies, Lossinger et al. 1999, Young et al. 2004, found a significantly high production of collagen at very specific frequencies, as well as changes in the dynamics of calcium that has been associated with aging, by the way. Now, signaling technology started with neurophysiology research, and started by basically studying different frequencies that produced from certain parts of the brain, started with brain waves, of course, and then specific frequencies from certain parts of the brain. Then in cardiology, the pacemaker is a representative of signaling technology. What's a pacemaker? The pacemaker cells in the heart do not work properly, so you're basically replacing the function of the pacemaker cells by the pacemaker. Now, in brain research, what they have started doing, or they did in the past, is utilize external frequencies to resonate. What resonance is amplification, to basically amplify frequencies on the inside that has started becoming less, that has started deteriorating. And they have succeeded in doing that in brain damaged people. Now, more research was done with ion channels and signaling pathways. And at that level, we started looking at different signals and how the body combines the signals to communicate, and how we can decode the signals and basically create a resonance situation where we amplify the signals from the inside that they have faded by applying them transcutaneously from the outside. And that process had to become like sort of a key, sort of a key to a lock. It had to fit. The other problem here that was found from this research was that if a signal is not in sync with the nervous system, it's been discarded by the nervous system. It's just out. That's it. It will not form synapses. It will just kind of burst into the body, and the body will throw it out as if it's garbage. So what the technology that started a long time ago, 27 years ago, Jerry Pollack started it in London University. He was one of the co-inventors of the pacemaker. And what he did is he started creating sort of a signal that will be the signal of the motor nerve. And his idea was the way the pacemaker replaces the function of the pacemaker cells, this signal will replace the signal of the motor nerve for multiple sclerosis. His research was actually financed by Multiple Sclerosis Society, and he started looking into this, and he created the signal by looking at normal nerves and then severe nerves and a bypass sort of device that will act as a mechanism that will connect the signal from the one part of the nerve to the other part of the nerve that was now disconnected. Now, what he found he did a lot of research on this. And what he found is that the waveform that he was creating was most effective in terms of increased range of motion, which what he was trying to accomplish, and localized blood flow, was the most comfortable waveform. So it wasn't current that you needed. No. The current was irrelevant. What was the important thing was the waveform, and the other important thing was the force with which the waveform was coming. So it was waveform and voltage. So he started building this voltage-driven device. Now, he also found that the waveform that appeared to be more successful was the one that was composed by the greatest number of sine waveforms. However, this combination had to be specific. So you change something in this combination and it wouldn't work. So it had to be a specific combination of several waveforms, and they had to be comfortable. If it was uncomfortable to the body, apparently it won't work. So, which is, to me, it's intuitive, because pain is the body alarm to tell you that I don't want this inside me. Pain is something that the body tells you, no, I don't want